Hello there and welcome to my channel. Today I thought we'd take a look at the playback display options and what they are and how we can adjust them to meet our needs. So whenever you take a picture on a digital SLR, you are going to see your image. Let's just bring one up, and then more often than not you've got an option to get additional information. So if I scroll down on my camera from this picture, I then get some file information about the picture. Scroll down again, I get highlights, which tells me whether or not my picture is overexposed or not. Click again, we get the histograms. Click down again, we get some camera information. As you can see, this is for a Nikon D7500, but most cameras are going to give you similar information, to be honest. Yeah, so if I click down again, more information, click down, more information, and again more. You're starting to lose the will to live now with these menus. Come down again, yeah, another menu. This one's more useful because this gives you the luminosity histogram and some good useful camera information. Right, scroll down again, brings me right back to top. So we've got all that information, which most of which you may or may not want, and we can get rid of that quite easily. But perhaps we want to have a quick look at what these things do. So let's just quickly flick through another image. If we come along here, flick down the menus, so see if there's anything that we can is useful to us. So highlights, so it's showing me that there are no highlights in this image clipping, so that's great. Bang. Not really interested in the colored histograms, but the luminosity I am, but I know I'll see that in another menu, so don't really need that. File information, that's useful, but it's going to be available in another menu that we've seen, so don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. This page is useful. Go to the next picture, come down, file info, don't really need. Highlights, that's useful. It's flashing there very slightly. You can see that the picture is very slightly clipping, which means in editing I could reduce the highlights a little bit on that image and get rid of that clipping. The fact it's clipping and flashing is telling me that there's no data in the spots where it's flashing. So move on from that. So histograms, rubbish, 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 rubbish. Useful. Back to the image. Let's go across. This one, file info. On this one, we're seeing the focusing point, which can be quite interesting. The little red circles there showing where I was focused when I took this image of a car that was racing. I know it looks like it's staying still, but it was racing at the time, and I managed to get that bang center, so quite pleased with that. Bring it back, come back. Highlights that show me that although it was a sunny bright day, I haven't got any reflections on the car, so that's good. There's no highlights clipping there, so that's cool. Not interested in the histograms on that one. That's useful. So the luminosity histogram is showing me that histogram's good, so I haven't over or underexposed, and I've got useful camera information there. So move on to the next one. Okay. File info, highlights, nothing's clipping there, so the picture's fine. Okay, and we can see here the camera was on program mode, which is unusual for me. F4, but yeah, so quite useful. So how do we get to choose what we want? Let's go to, if we go to menu on the Nikon, and you want to go to the playback menu, which usually is the top one, which is that there. It's now highlighted yellow. And you want the playback display options. Okay, so let's open that up, and you'll see for the examples that we just went through, I had selected everything so that you saw all the possible options. Now what I'll do this time is get rid of what I think, well, certainly how I would use it, get rid of the stuff I don't need, and just be left with a couple of menus, and that will make browsing much easier. So I don't really need the focus point. I do want the image only. I do want the highlights because it is useful to know whether or not the picture is overexposed. I don't need the RGB histogram because we're going to get the luminosity histogram in a different screen, so I'll click to get rid of that. I will get rid of the shooting data, which is all those endless pages of additional information. Get rid of that. Come down, but I will keep the overview, and that's the page that will give me the luminosity histogram and the basic camera detail, which is good stuff. So if I click OK to that now, and now if I return to the images, let's just go back to the very first one. Okay, and now if I scroll down, we've got the file info will come up for just a couple of seconds, and then it disappears. So this is just the main image only option. Sorry, I'll bring that back. So we've got the image only. Then we've got the highlights. We can see here that this I was doing a high key portrait, or trying to, and so the it's showing us that the white background is overexposed, and that's intentional, but it's useful to be able to judge that. And we've got this menu which gives me the luminosity histogram, so just showing the brightness. I don't need all the colored histogram stuff, and the basic details camera settings. So all I've got now for each image is this screen, and this screen, which is more than enough for me. And yep, so that's where you'll change it. So the menu, if you want to find it, go to playback menu, and it's playback display options, and then you just tailor them to suit your taste. And yep, that's about it. I hope you found this useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next video. Thank you for your time, and goodbye.